All right, what's up, you guys? I'm going to go ahead and do a separate video on the subject of using stuff like this to do your stretches for a back bend. I'm going to go ahead and do a separate talk on it, like I said I was going to. So I want to talk about, like, say, any of you guys, how this will give you an advantage if you're trying to improve your back bend. Say if you're watching Keno McGregor or anybody on YouTube, and some of you guys that are actually trying to do something that they're doing and not just sitting there on your way to some porn site and watching yoga videos to jack off or something. Some of you guys that actually want to do something. Some of my problems, I can do a decent back bend. I've done an old video in the past where I used, heavy curling weights, the octagon-shaped dumbbells that sit. I gave a pair of those away to a guy I worked with at a concrete factory because he had a weight set that he uses at lunchroom anyway, and I'm one of them people, if I have a respect for somebody I'm working under, I said he got a couple of weight sets and just looked like it matched, and I'm like that. But anyway, you can use those to do a back bend, but I also recommend, like I had another video I talked about it, I used a smaller baton. You can use a piece of wood. And my problem is, like doing a back bend, if you're anything like me, your arms don't go back enough. And you can do the exercises where you're, pushing your arm, going like this and all that. That works too, and that's fine. But a lot of weightlifters, they're using a stick or a baton or something, and they're pulling like this. You can use the lighter or the wooden stick, but I like to use a heavier item and kind of let it hang. And even pull down on it like so. Stand there while you're watching television or listening to music, and just stand there. Walk around like that. Go like this and pull and force it up. And while you're letting it hang, you can go ahead and pull this a little bit. And see how much better stretch you get like that, because my problem is like this one side, my right side, needs stretching more than the other for some reason, and my right leg is like that too. Because if I lift things, for workplaces, a lot of us are not just right-handed, we're right-legged. We're more prone to lift objects, putting our one right foot forward first. So we got a dominating side. A lot of those other chicks you see doing the stretches, there's way more of them than dudes. I've seen a few of the best dudes on there, martial artists, that can do a split. And I always wondered myself about splits, if more girls can do that than dudes because of their hip structure and their anatomic structure. And maybe us dudes got to watch ourselves a little bit because we don't want to max out those socket joints. If you feel any, or even here, if you feel anything in the socket abnormal, back away from it and then do it gradually, or change, wag it around, kind of wag it out, you know what I mean? And whether it's the arm or the leg, kind of change your stretch a little bit, back out of it, change it. That's all you got to do. And like, even though it's off the subject too, the back bend also involves, not only just involves getting these arms back, it involves doing these legs. And when I watched that's another thing, when you, whether you put videos on YouTube or not, you can play back your videos and see exactly what you're doing. It's better than looking into a mirror. So in my older videos, the back bend, I noticed that something in these legs too. You got to bend that thigh back, and doing these. Excuse me for a second, watch. Put this down here for a second. But like, you don't just bend this arm back. These legs, when you're doing a back bend, you can feel it in these thighs wanting to pull. And a lot of people do a lot of this. And then you got the version of that on the floor, which you'd want to have some kind of pad on the floor because, you know, when you're crouched down on the floor, that knee against the floor kind of painful, so you might want to have some kind of mat or something on the floor, or anything you have, one of your socks or something like that. But yeah, both stretching this and then naturally there's this. I mean, yeah, and geez, one of the other things I didn't know, that the people that are athletic, they all know common sense. All the videos I ever watched, these chicks doing these stretches and these other people doing these stretches, you're not really supposed to stretch cold muscles. It can be hazardous. So this is getting to be colder in the season. It'll be winter. So then, like, I'd be doing my stretches inside. Like, you're supposed to jump around, do some running around. I don't care if it's jumping up and down or whatever the hell, because I guess you stretch cold muscles, you can do damage and stuff. So there was like one blonde chick that happened to say that in a video a long time ago, and I was like, damn, I didn't know that. And a lot of the athletic world knows that, runners and gymnasts and cheerleaders and martial arts dudes, and while the rest of us are doing some kind of things like mixed to improve ourselves, you know, in work-related activities, along with, without being Bruce Lee, you know, use weighted instruments, without outright admitting to or trying to act like we're doing anything with any criminal activity, so to speak. Nothing that's against the law, so to speak, but the right to better yourself. And anybody don't like what it looks like or whatever, criticize you. I did videos on that. You know that. I'm not going to overdo it about that. But yeah, anyway, my point is, like, you use a lighter baton. You know, use at the pool. You can use a longer stick, a wooden stick. But I like to use a heavier instrument too. If you got a crowbar, use that, because whether you're a dude or a chick watching, a heavier item, especially if you're a dude bigger than me, maybe one or two of them dudes that can curl large amounts of bench press, a lot of weight, you probably know what I'm saying too. You might want to, because you've got bigger arms, use like some kind of heavier bar, and the heavier the better, so that you can stretch this out and let it hang. Because there's a lot of like bigger people too that want to do the flexibility thing. I've seen some pretty big guys. I owned a video. But I owned a couple of videos that I had. You know, that flexibility is a good thing and all that too, like I said too. To all our advantages, you know what I mean? I don't do enough of videos on it, but I think it's way important, whether you're doing knuckle push-ups. Use it as an opportunity to stretch. Don't just, whether you're doing the knuckle push-ups or any kind of push-ups, do them on blocks and do sessions of just going down as far as you can, stretch that chest out. Then anything like this that you're using for a Clubbell, whether you do Zircone, the Indian club, different size of Indian club, the more stretching, the better. It's a boring subject for a lot of people. Like, if some people don't like the subject and the only thing that they care about is watching yoga chicks and different chicks so they can jack off. But you should be learning something from it. And then, by the way, see how many your favorite dudes are doing some stuff. And if you see dudes doing it, then it's a reflection of you, what you can eventually get some, even though you're not as good as them, a goal where you'd like to be. Yeah, you got to be seeing some kind of goal where you'd like to be, you know, not just sitting on your ass and like that, you know. But, well, you know what I mean. Some of you people that know me know what I mean. So it's kind of a no-brainer. But, yeah, I'm going to end this right here. See you next time.